If I get one more phone call about burnout, I think I'm going to pull my hair out. And I don't have a whole lot of it left, actually. We just had a call, a wrestler. He has not started wrestling until he was in seventh grade. This guy talked to a local high school coach who he grew up with, and he says, don't start until seventh grade because they'll burn out. And so here he is. Kid's been begging to wrestle for years. Dad wrestled in high school, was a state placer, and now this boy's going to start in our program, and he's behind. I think this, no one complains about burnout in baseball, soccer, football. Kids don't get burned out in those sports. It's only wrestling they get burned out in. And I think this is my theory. Wrestling leaves such a bad taste in your mouth if you don't accomplish all of your goals. Most of us don't accomplish all of our goals, especially those of us who set really high goals for ourselves. And that's part of life. But if you set a high goal for yourself in football and it doesn't work, you're still a football fan. You get your kid in football when he's 6 or 7. You're coaching football. You're going to the college game. You're spending hundreds of dollars. You go watch NFL games. You go to college basketball. 30,000 fans, watching just a basic college basketball game. The sport of wrestling, the bleachers are empty. And I think the bleachers are empty because some people, when they leave wrestling, they leave. And then when they kind of get back into it, they have all these thoughts of maybe regret or resentment or anger or just a bad taste in their mouth because they didn't accomplish all of their goals. And so they take this kind of bitter attitude, sort of, and they say, well, I would get kids into wrestling, but I wouldn't get them in too soon because we're afraid they're going to burn out. Wrestling's fun. Just because maybe you didn't have fun, don't ruin it for someone else. Sure, kids burn out in all sports, but generally if they hate wrestling or baseball and you make them play baseball or wrestle, they're going to burn out, and they probably were burned out when they started, but you made them do it. Once they get old enough to tell you, I quit, because that's what happens when a boy or girl gets to be 13 or 14 years old. They start to stick up for themselves a little bit, and then you can run around and tell everyone that they burned out, but they were probably burned out beforehand. So get your kids in wrestling. Say, hey, son, you want to try this? Sure. If they try it and they like it, keep them involved. If they say, I don't want to do this anymore, fine. Or maybe they can take a couple months off and come back and only wrestle during season. But please don't run out around just because maybe if you maybe have bad memories about the sport of wrestling and the time you spent there. Don't take it out on other kids and run around educating parents about the severity of burnout in the sport of wrestling, because I have not heard this in any other sport, and I really think you're doing a lot of damage. And I get these calls constantly, and it's something that really I think we need to think about from a coaching standpoint.